Hold your head up. I know it's hard in this world we live, but we gotta make the best of what it is. Keep your head up. And all my cats being laced with biz. We gotta strive to see hurting our kids. Keep your head up. I know it's hard in this world we live, but we gotta make the best of what it is. Keep your head up. And all my cats being laced with biz. We gotta strive to see hurting our kids. Keep your head up.
What's up, good people? Welcome to another episode of Live at 5 presented by Peep Game TV. I'm your man SRD, and my main man 100 Grand is still absent. However, the show must go on, so in light of him being out, we do the half hour because, what we discussing and what we are, our motivation, as usual, is to uplift fallen humanity, one person, one family, one neighborhood, one city, and one state at a time. With that being said, let's get into it. You know, my passion is statehood. It's us as a people being able to declare our independence from America and put together our constitutions in these 50 states, what they now call, or what we now know as the United States of America, and what is really the Moroccan Empire. In order for us to do that, we not only need to declare our Declaration of Independence from America, it's beneficial to us. It's time for us to start rearranging our minds, to open our minds up. I was listening to the Nation of Islam's brother from the Nation of Islam, and like they said, and I totally agree, that we need to become a new people. And in order to become a new people, there's one thing that's gonna be essential for us to make that transition, and that is something that we all have been comfortable with, being raised and being called for some time in our lives, and that's being a Black person, being an African American, being a Moorish American, being a person of color. Those are fine for descriptions of a people. However, neither one of those titles are true nationalities or legal personalities that will benefit us in a political and economic realm. It behooves us to really understand the significance of what's been happening to us and truly understand why it's been happening to us. I mean, when you look at it and you say that a people that pretty much established government and pretty much controls the country don't like you because of your skin color. Now, if that's true, whether it's true or not, just the fact that you have a people who don't like you representing you, come on. I mean, let's really look at that, people. Let's really examine that. If a people don't like you, and these same people you're going to and asking them or pleading with them or marching to get them to change policies that don't represent you completely, do you think after all this time, after 200 and almost 50 years, that that's going to actually work for us as a so-called people? Realistically, I think not. And what I do believe that, and I that we definitely need to reconsider our stance when it comes to allowing ourselves to be labeled as something that don't represent us as a nationality. Everyone has a nationality, and we go back and forth with black and white. And black and white, at the end of the day, are colors. They are descriptions that describe certain people's shades. Those whom identify as white still have a nationality. And I want to be clear that what we put in our government together does not mean that we are anti-white or anti-anybody. What it means is we pro for ourselves. We pro for our people. We deserve and need to have our own. And in order to have our own, it's only going to happen that I see one way, because we've tried many other ways and it hasn't worked for us. So the only way that I can see is for us to reestablish our our own government, to fill the empty seats that empty has been empty for years. And sure, it may sound outlandish to you, it may sound even weird to you, but if you really stop and think about it, then I'm sure it will make sense to you, because for all of us, why wouldn't we want to have our own? Why wouldn't we want to be able to say, look, you go to my state officials, and we need individuals who are ready to put in that type of work for state officials that want to write laws. Let's look at something that probably many of you can relate to. You know, let's look at the new weed laws. Let's look at how many individuals have done time behind selling weed and now have a record from selling weed. And now that you've done the time, I'm good. I'm good. How you? I'm good, huh? I'm good. And now when you look at it, now all of a sudden the US government decided to make weed legal in certain states. However, those who were disenfranchised most are unable. Glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. And I appreciate you taking the time out to, to share this time with us. I appreciate it. I appreciate you too. Appreciate you all. But getting back to the point of, look at how those who were disenfranchised by selling weed are now locked out of the possibility of being able to truly make money in a legal manner. The US government decide, okay, I'm gonna make it legal, but I'm gonna make it where you need $1 million cash to open up a dispensary. Now tell me where that's fair in a society where the people who were most disenfranchised suffered behind it, and now those very same people can't even get a chance to make money for it. And many individuals has done time. See, this is what we're dealing with when we are dealing with America or the United States. We have to be clear of what we're dealing with, and we've talked about it on many occasions, on many other shows, many other fronts. We talk about it. We talk about what can we do as a people. Now we have an answer of what we can do as a people, and now it's just going to take us as a collective to make a sacrifice of something that we really kind of got used to holding on to, but be willing to put that to the side. You don't necessarily have to let it go, but be able to put that to the side, so when it's time for you to sign an application or it's time for you to sign anything, you know your nationality. You don't have to put other. You don't have to put African American. You don't have to put Moorish American. You don't have to put person of color. You don't have to put American. You can put Moroccan Moor. That's what you can put now. This is important for the upcoming generation because we all know as much as we care about black and working together as black people, we all know that it carries some stigmas that we more than likely not going to be able to get away from. You know what I'm saying? The reality is we're not going to be able to get away from it because these stigmas are ingrained into the culture of America. They're ingrained. Sure, some of us do well as black people, African American, and people of color. We do well. However, in America, under America's jurisdiction, let's be realistic. You're going to be financially unstable at some point if you rise to a higher level. We've seen it happen. So for us, it's time for us to really just examine. Like, okay, now let's, like I said, with being able to put your own laws together, now you'll be able to have a jurisdiction of, okay, those of you who may smoke weed. Now let's look at it from another angle of why it's so important for us to have statehood. When it comes to smoking weed, okay, now it's legal, but how do you get a job? You know, now if your job tests you, you know, you can lose your job. So it's a number of reasons why it's so important for us to start making the transition. Because in order to do what it is that we're capable of doing and what is totally necessary for us to do, then we must make a choice because everything is based on a choice. Nobody is forced to do anything. Everyone has a choice, and we could either choose to keep going the way we're going and keep complaining about what we're tired of, or we could choose another route and then be able to look at ourselves and have our children look at us in a manner to say, wow, we finally did it. You know, I ask you all to do this. Look up African American, look up black, look those up and see what pops up immediately. And then look up black or more. You know what I mean? And I really don't like that, but you'll see a little difference. The black or more, you can look that up too. And go to my site, go to my Facebook page. You can go to my Facebook page too, and you can stroll down the page. You can see different, like Active Algeciras, 1906. You can see the Charter of the United Nations. You can see things of that nature. Because what it's going to take for us, it's going to take some sacrifice. I got to be real with everybody who's watching. It's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to be some work that's involved in it. However, the reward is definitely going to be greater than the work that we have to put in, that we must put in. That's essential for us to put in. We we know it's time. Anybody who's watching, I'm sure you've been disenfranchised at one point or another, some way or somehow, where you felt like this ain't working for you, you know? And even those who, now, not everybody, there are people who are fine, you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, for me, I could be good, but the reality is I see too much happening that causes me not to be good. I two nephews of mine were murdered, and who were they murdered by? So-called other black brothers. They were murdered. You know what I mean? And this is something that we must kind of deal with, because if we're murdering each other and we're saying that, us being calling ourselves by what we've been calling ourselves is working for us, then I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we get the chance to recreate ourselves by acknowledging who our ancestors were. That is something, that's the greatest gift we could give to ourselves as well as those who were in the past, by acknowledging who we truly are, not who we were made to be or taught how to be or even believe we are. let's look at let's look at us. Let's look at us. And I consider myself a Moroccan Moor, although many could see me and they could say I'm black. And I've called myself black on many occasions. And I look at it as a description. I'm a melanated person. It's important because I'm seeing how black is being promoted as a nationality. And my personal belief. I don't know what you guys think. You can let me know what you think. I think that us calling ourselves black is hurting us more than helping us. And if you disagree, let me know. Put it down, because that's my personal opinion. I think we kind of need to push the black to the side and go with being Moors, Moroccan, or Moorish. I think that's what we need to do, because we get the opportunity to build and reestablish who we are, the way we want to be, and how the world see us. That's why I think it's so important to reestablish ourselves, because with calling ourselves Black African American, it already has a stigma that's connected to it that I don't think we're going to be able to get rid of. Besides that, Moors, Moroccan, and Moorish are legal terms that we can be able to do political business. And that's something where we suffer as a people. We're unable to do international business. We're unable to do international business with other countries or other people that look like us. Why? Because America say, as black, you black people can't do that. You African Americans can't do that. And we have to abide because we're under their jurisdiction. And that's a funny word. You may not hear it too much, but being under the jurisdiction of America prohibit us from being able to do certain things as our human rights, let alone, as men and women, as a human being, some of our rights have been taken. Remember, Martin Luther King was fighting for civil rights, not human rights. So we were getting civil rights instead of our God-given human rights. And I would like for all of you to check out, wherever you're from, whatever state you're from, there's a constitution in that state. And I guarantee you, in that constitution, there's nothing saying we uphold this for African Americans, we uphold this for black people, we uphold this for Moorish American, we uphold this for people of color. There's nothing in that legislation to represent you, because remember, when it was written, we weren't being considered during the time when the constitutions of these states was being written. So doesn't it make sense for us to establish our own constitution? And look, some of you might think it's difficult, but there's already been states that has established constitutions, and those states will be willing to help other states. So the other part about it is us getting out of that nigger mindset. You know what I mean? That nigger mindset where we so selfish when it comes to each other that we unable to build and do things together. That nigger mindset where it's all about us, Like today, I don't feel that well, but because of my love for my people, I push through it. And this is something as us creating our original state of being, we must work on and be concerned about how each other feel. How each other doing during the day. Reach out to each other. You know, family is one of the most distant. Now, since texting came in, you very rarely talk on the phone. So socially, there's things we could do that we don't need nobody help. And all we need to do is start working on it ourselves individually and with our families, working on being more sociable with each other, being more connected with each other, and striving to do more to help each other. Once we regain that mindset, because we were there. Don't let anybody tell you we weren't ever there. We were there, and it wasn't that long ago. It just happens to now. During the 80s, we ran into a crack era, and the crack era kind of discombobulated us, and we're still struggling from that era. Many people say it happened from slavery, but I disagree. I disagree that it didn't happen from slavery because I've seen us as a people thriving. I've seen us as a people caring for each other. I've seen us as a people not trying to kill or hurt each other. I've seen it. So I know that it can be done. It's just a matter of each one of us reestablishing or refining how we look at each other, how we look at ourselves, and how we conduct ourselves during a day. Many individuals spend all day, you know, smoking weed. And listen, this is a no judgment zone. I don't judge people for what they do. However, from my belief, weed was meant to be something to help you meditate, to help you connect with the higher power. It wasn't something that we were just doing every day, all day. It was something we did. We connect with the higher power and meditate. Then we go do what it is, what that we gain from that higher power. That's the usage of it. When it comes to a point where you get to a point where you're just smoking and you're doing nothing but thinking, then that's not helping. That's not helping you. The way we build our community is each of us doing the best we can to make our environment a much better place, doing the best we can to make ourselves better individually each and every day. I can't stress that enough, how important it is for us to start recognizing us as a family, as a tribe. We don't use that word often enough. We say a people, but we started off as tribes, and every people belong to a tribe. So if we are a tribe of people, let's take care of our tribe. And our tribe is not only here in America, our tribe is all over the world. So this whole revolutionary cultural revolution of liberation is to liberate all of us, all the people, all across the world. First, we have to start with our tribe, just like everyone else does. And it's not being disrespectful because we see it here. America take care of their tribe. And we have a problem with that. But the reality is we shouldn't have a problem with that because they're doing what comes to people naturally. You take care of your tribe. You take care of your family. So our tribe just happened to go under the label of being black, whom true identity or legal identity or legal personality is Moroccan Moor, not the Sultan, not the kingdom of Morocco, like the shirt says, if you can see it. Before I understood it, I had got these shirts made, but our empire of Morocco shirts, our flag is different. So we get the chance to, and I wear it because I made it. So I want to wear it. But once I get the new ones, you'll see what the empire of Morocco is about. And this is crucial because it's something for us. It's something we can call our own finally. Something that we can utilize to help us navigate through the muck and mire that we deal with on a daily basis, dealing with a state as a people rather than state to state. We wonder why many of us talk about what would you call it? Getting reparations. You know what I mean? We talk about getting reparations. Why we can't get reparations? Why don't black people get reparations? Black people don't get reparations because black people don't have a legal identity. That's why you don't get reparations, because we got to remember everything is based on laws. Sure, you get individuals who go beyond the laws, but ultimately, what has us the way that we are is laws. When you think about whether you go to work, you have to abide by some type of policy at work. You have to abide by policy when you're driving down the street. You got to stop at the red light. When you're driving down the street, you got to stop at the stop sign. You got to file your taxes. These are policies. These are laws. So wouldn't it benefit us to be writing some of the laws instead of voting for people and hoping that they write the laws for us? And when we know that these people are not truly connected to us, because truly, when we really look at it, do they really respect us? Let's think about it. How do you respect a people that comes to another people asking that people to do for you? How do you let's really think about that. A people coming to another people asking, what can you do for me? That's like being when you're driving down the street and you see the homeless person asking you for money. I mean, how do you feel about that? That's what we're actually doing every time we run to America, asking America to do something for us. We're being like we're homeless. We have a home. This is our home. This is not America. This is the Empire of Morocco. So this is our home. So we have a right to govern our own home and not to run to somebody else to govern us that looks down on us because we're coming to them asking them for things that we should be demanded, that we have the legal right to demand. This is what we have for ourselves. We have the legal right. We have legal documentation that supports everything I'm saying. I'm not just talking out of my emotions, even though it brings emotions out of me. I'm talking from documentation that can prove exactly what I'm saying. All you got to do is, like I said, go to YouTube, go to the Impact study sessions and watch it and listen to it. And you'll see what I'm saying is true, because at the end of the day, our goal is to get to 50 states before this year's out. Why not? We can do it. We have an agenda. That's our agenda. Once we get to 50 states, then we start petitioning. We start petitioning America for things that we've been uncomfortable with. This is what we do. However, we're still going to have to work on ourselves simultaneously. Simultaneously, we're going to have to work on being better human beings, being the best example of a human being for others to look up to, let alone our own. So, because remember, whatever we see in our communities with our children, it's some behavior that they've seen from some adults. This is what we've seen. They've seen some adults do it. So with that being said, the time is up for me. I appreciate you guys. I love you. And till Monday, show love towards somebody the way that you want to be loved. Peace.